The Joe Rogan Experience.
First time I went to Japan with House of Pain.
What happened?
We were on, it was one of them things where we were touring from tour to tour to tour. I would go home and literally take one set of clothes out of a bag, throw it in another bag, and leave. So we got to Japan. And on this particular trip, I brought my girlfriend at the time, and I think Danny did, and Lethal brought his own homie or whatever. But we brought a bunch of guests. And everybody gets through customs. And as I'm getting through customs, the guy reaches into this one jacket I have, and he pulls his hand out, and there's this little nugget of bud. And he's like, "What is that?" And I was like, "Well, can you speak English?" Because he said it in Japanese. So I said, okay, what is that? I was like, my brain just was like, well, fuck, man. It looks like weed. I said, it looks like weed. I just fucking owned it. Whatever. Right. They went and got this little tester, put some shit in it, said if it turns blue, it's weed. I was like, it's weed. Let's just fucking save a little trouble. It's weed. Meanwhile, everybody else had gotten through. They brought everybody else back in, right? Fucking gave them the fucking finger, like my lady, everything at the time. Everybody got the strip search. They never strip searched me. They searched everything I had, all my bags, everything, right? They tested one nug of weed, whatever. I end up after several hours, the record label paid off whatever they had to pay off. We got into the country and were able to do our tour. Now, the point of the story is everybody's fucking hating my guts. The whole fucking bunch of them. We get to the hotel. I'm unpacking my bag, trying to figure out how the whole fucking thing happened. I'm looking at the jacket, and I reach into the pocket. There's nothing in there. I was like, fuck, that's crazy. I reach into the other pocket of the jacket. I pull out a fucking ounce of fucking weed. They never looked in the other pocket of the jacket. A fucking ounce of weed. I shit you not.
So you know what you were, without even knowing you were doing it? You were like sending a small mule to get busted so that the big ones can sneak around the side.
I must have been rolling a joint at the last tour and like had a nug left over and just thrown it in the pocket, not thinking about it on one side.
The cartel does that.
But if they would have found that other one first, I'd be in jail in motherfucking in Japan for a long time.
Forever and ever.
But I got in, I called everybody that smoked in the crew down to the room after that. And I was like, yo, check it out, man. I really didn't mean this to happen, but I probably had more good ass fucking weed in Japan than anybody at the time.
You know what's incredible?
Because all they had was hash and shit like that.
Stop and think of that moment. That moment, if they didn't go in that one pocket and they went in the other pocket first, and they found that giant bag of weed, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Nope.
We probably wouldn't.
Nope.
I don't think so. That's a lot of weed. Who knows, though?
In Japan, it would have been. Took a lot of money to get me out of that, regardless.
Yeah,
a lot. Instead of, I think it cost them like $1,000, and they're like, which was like 10,000 or something yen, or 100,000.
Is this pre or post Put Your Lights On?
No, this was House Pain days. This was like when the only story like it was like Paul McCartney is banned for life because he got caught with some weed. That was
for life.
That I don't know if it still exists, but there was a point where he was banned for life because he got caught with weed over there.
Wow. Well, it used to be in Nevada, you get sent to jail for life if you had weed, and now it's legal there.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of dudes like looking out those barred windows.
That's just something's got to be done about that. That ain't working.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the number one problem. It's the number one problem with laws against things like weed. Like, as long as you can buy some whiskey.
It's part of the number one problem. A lot of it, too, is a lot of these prisons are privatized, and they don't want to let a lot of these guys go, man. A lot of these guys get money for the amount of fucking people in their prisons.
I got a solution. Those private prison dudes should start selling weed. Right? That's a cleaner way to live your life, man. Don't be a goddamn slave owner. You guys are slave owners.
There's this whole like urban legend that is very believable about this letter that went around. Like a bunch of people in the hip hop music industry got I don't know, maybe it was within the last decade, where they described like this guy claimed to be a member of the elite class of like executives of the music business in the mid 90s and whatnot, and there was a time when the private prison industry kind of came and got involved and got a lot of these people to invest and then kind of help direct like things like rap music. And if you remember, there used to be like Public, I don't know if you were how big of you a fan of music you were at the time, X-Clans and Public Enemies. There was all these proactive like, counters to like the party drug dealer guys or whatever. There was actually another side to it that existed and was successful and flourished, amongst it, and that disappeared. But and like this letter that went around was like kind of claiming this guy was part of this thing, and he left the meeting when these guys. It was like a whole conspiracy thing, like, you know. But it's like totally believable that these guys would direct the music and a fucking media in a certain direction to encourage fucking basically a cycle of fucking prison.